In the last video, we talked about the observer effect. We talked about the hyperspace and how it works and things like that. We talked about the main content about the hyperspace, about how the we discussed the concept of a bulk being, what is a supreme being. To just revise it again, we are going to need it again in this video. Bulk being is no one but a high dimensional human being, and a conventional human being is no one but just the same is a part of a bulk being, and a bulk being is still uh, what do you say, a fragmental spark of the supreme being, which is still higher in dimensions. So there are infinite number of dimensions in hyperspace, falling from the infinite dimensions of supreme being to the bulk being, until those bulk being actually manifest in the lower dimensions in form of a human being, or what we call the observer of this universe. So that is what we discussed in the last video. Another thing, until this video, one must get it that the observers of this universe do matter in this universe. If one is not convinced with this, one must read my book, The Next Level Observer Effect, because in these videos I am actually summarizing my book. So I'm not actually mentioning each and every single detail, through which I explain and convince the reader that the observers of this universe are the actual ones for whom the entire universe has been created. The universe has been created under the cause of the observers of this universe. So that is well explained in my book, The Next Observer Effect. So just grab it if you're not convinced and just have a read there. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to use some words, and one must not get offended by them, because those are the words which were used by the ancient people. Now, before going to that, I want you to be convinced that the observers of this universe do matter in this universe. So to continue again, so one must do not get offended. One must not get offended, by those words, because those words used to be used you know, as the metaphor by the ancient people. Now, this is how even we do today. Something which our words can't convey, or when we don't have words to describe something, it's natural for us to describe it via metaphors. So this is what the ancient people do. But now today, the future generation is taking those metaphors literally, and we're finding them stupid. No, our ancestors weren't stupid at all. They just used the metaphors. So one of these terms being the devotional service. Now, the devotional service term might get you into the religion or something like that. Let me tell you clearly, this book, my book, The Next Level Observer Effect, talks nothing about the religion. It's not about the religion. Religion is something different. It's about opinions. No, it's not. The Next Level Observer Effect book is about the truth. It doesn't stick to any religion. No word of religion. I mean, no religion is mentioned in my book, The Next Level Observer Effect. So it's not about that. Yeah, continuing to the video. So the word devotional service, when I use that word, one must not get offended. It is a metaphor used. Now, when you talk about the devotional service, one should not get offended. Okay, so continuing to that point, what exactly the devotional service is and what it has to do with our universe. Now, let's continue with that. So, our universe, the space-time universe, where what actually we can see right now here in the 3D universe, the human mind can't imagine more than 3 dimensions. To in our vicinity, we all have is the matter, we have the energy or something. Then how is it? What exactly devotional service is, and how to get the real meaning out of it? It happens to be that the people in past times, used to convey the meanings or the whatever they witnessed, in form of stories and in form of metaphors they used. So are not supposed to take these metaphors literally, are going to get a totally wild meaning. So we must not misunderstand them and get the real meaning out of it. So what does devotional service actually mean? So as I said, in the vicinity we can see the matter and the universe, etc. We live life, whatever. So how is that connected to the devotional service? Now let me tell you what devotional service exactly is. Now, we talked about the concept of the supreme being, we talked about the concept of a bulk being, and we also talked about how what exactly human being is. It's basically a bulk being manifesting in lower dimensions. I mean, the three or four dimensions. When it manifests into those, when it interferes with those dimensions, a human manifest comes into place. This is what we discussed. So, what a human being for a human being, what is a devotional service? So the devotional service is nothing but, imagine our universe like a fruit, and a universe, and in this within this fruit, there live human beings. Now, these human beings suck the fruit juice of devotional service until, I mean, to the supreme being. A human being and a bulk being acts like a vessel that actually sucks the devotional service to the supreme being. Imagine it that way. So now one will say, why just supreme, he's a supreme being, why he requires that juice of devotional service and things like that. Now let me tell you, a supreme being is all satisfied, he's like all good. Ancient people called it god. The god is not someone like a king. King wants to rule everyone. A king wants to makes everything, he makes society, and god, come on, when we talk about the universe, it's not about God, whether God created or the universe or not. It's not about whether God created the universe or not. The universe itself belongs to God. Now, one more question one might ask is, why does the Supreme Being, if he's all satisfied, why does he needs the devotional service for the observers of this universe to perform? Now, let me tell you, the bulk being the observers of this universe, the observer is no one but a lower dimensional manifest of a bulk being, and this everything, even the action of performing devotional service, is nothing but a supreme. It's himself. The universe, the fruit of the from which the devotional service is actually belongs. The devotional service is, as I said, is juice, which the observers of this universe as a bulk being, actually suck to the supreme being. And this is how it works. I mean, the devotional service, the action of performing devotional service, it's not, we can't say that why does supreme need it. We can't say that. In fact, the action of devotional service himself is the supreme, so one can't say why does he need it. Everything just belongs to him, guys. So this is how it works. This is the supreme action. And so the supreme being is all satisfied, is, yeah, he's all satisfied, he's infinite, he's the supreme being. And this is how it works. And let me, as I said, what devotional service is. The act of devotional service is nothing but an action of bulk being, who is not one but a human being, sucking the juice of devotional service from the fruit called the universe to the supreme being. Now, in hyperspace, things do carry out in non-symmetry ending way. Every creation is created in non-symmetry ending way. So one has to create a symmetric ending dome where there is a separation between a creator and the creation, and where there is separation, there is action, and there is a space-time gap, and there is a process, and this process gets you the juice of devotional service. The process, itself gets you the fruit of devotional service. And if you want to become even the real owner of whatever process or actions you are conducting, you have to perform a process, and you have to provide the juice to the supreme being. And this is what the devotional service is. Every action we live life, how that has significance, how that has anything to do with the universe. Well, we every single second, every single whatever we do anything we do, it has to be done in devotional service. So the devotional service is nothing but, as I said, is just performing things that enrich us. Like, it enriches so strongly that it just, it has enhanced it, it must enlighten us. It must get all the ghosts of fear whatever a human being has. So this is what we only get when we perform the process. And as a human being, we always have a tendency to create something, and to create something in this universe, whereas there's always space-time gap between the creator and the creation, there's a process. And this same process is what makes you feel enlightened, makes you feel enriched. And the real enrichment comes from when the juice of devotional service, I mean the process, I'll talk this detail in next upcoming videos, also mentioned in super detail in my book The Next Level Observer Effect. So when this fruit of devotional service, which only can be get by performing the process, by involving oneself in the process, when the fruit is served, I mean to the supreme being, the process, the entire thing is called the devotional service unto the supreme being. Now ancient people call the supreme being the god. Now the bulk being is no one but a soul. Now people do take it like a soul exists in a human body. Come on, we have plenty of evidence. We can't see nothing, and we don't find any kind of soul. A soul is, don't imagine a soul like a magic or something that which, like, it doesn't have the magical property, something that. Let me tell you what soul is. A soul is a higher dimensional thing, and that higher dimensional thing, the soul is a bulk being. And when that bulk being, when a soul interferes with the four-dimensional space-time universe, what comes into existence, what manifests, is a human being. And that human being is known as actually within the soul. This is just a manifest, the universe manifest of a soul. And the universe itself belongs to God. The nature, the universe is a fragmental energy of a God. Well, it's like it has a different nature from the soul, but it belongs to God itself. It belongs to the God himself. So this is how it works. This is the action of devotional service, and I explained how this is the action of devotional service is and what role we have to play. And now we look at everything around us. It's just a combination of matter. One of the main things I want to talk about. Let's say you go from, I mean, let's take an example, like you work hard for something to achieve something. Now when you achieve it, it's just a material arrangement. Now let's say you're targeting to buy something, and when you achieve it, it's just that when you look from a atomic scale, it's just that the combination of atoms you have got. I mean, whatever actions we perform in just the materialistic frame of reference, from materialistic perspective, it's just a combination of atoms. So how that combination of atom has anything to do with the human significance? And there is where the devotional service, the act of devotional service comes in. It's not about the act of combination of the atoms. It's about what we take from those combination of those atoms. Okay, so it can be any atom, the final fruit, the final juice, the very final aim of the universe, for the which the entire universe has created under the cause of, the entire universe has created itself under the cause of an observer who is performing the devotional service. That's the, that's the cause the universe has created itself for. And this is how it works. This is the creation under the cause of. The universe creates itself to support the existence of observer and the observer performing the devotional service. So this is the aim of the universe, creating the observers and the observers supporting the devotional service. This entire thing is a main aim of the universe. And what is the final product? The final product is nothing but the devotional service. And the devotional service is just like as I explained. So in today's video we talked about an important point called devotional service. And yeah, so this is how it works. And our ancestors, actually, to talk about, they were not stupid. They just used the metaphors. Human history is huge. The human history is huge, and we just can't say that whatever we had in this 200 years is the most intelligent one. See, the language totally differs, and it comes out to be that the ancient people actually used to narrate in form of stories. They narrated in form of stories. It comes out to be that. But it's our problem. We are taking literally and finding them stupid. No, we're not supposed to take them literally, but understand the real meaning out of it. And this is how it works. And this is for today's video.